Welcome to this particular class on break-even analysis, and I hope that those students who have joined this class, they will be taking the proper benefit of this particular class. This topic is actually in new syllabus shifted to unit 3 as a part of your project evaluation, and we had discussed about this break-even point during that analysis, project evaluation, project appraisal lecture. So this topic is basically based on an analytical technique which helps you to understand, to learn that what is the point when you start earning, start earning profit, you start entering into profit zone. Or you can understand that in startup it is very important to learn that what is the point, or you can say there is the term called death valley. So what death valley means? Death valley means, that means death valley is basically a position when you invest money where you do not have any revenue which is more than or equal to the investment. So during that period, it is usually called as a death valley. So what exactly break even is and how you calculate it, you can very easily understand that break even in a production system is when revenue received through sales equals to the total cost of manufacturing. That means whatever amount you invest in a business, when that amount equates to the revenue, that means, say for example, you invest 10 lakh rupees in a business. So a point when you will be recovering 10 lakh rupees, that means your revenue or return or the total revenue from the business becomes equals to 10 lakh rupees, and then you say that above and all 10 lakh rupees, whatever you will earn, that will be your profit, below that will be your loss. But on that particular point, 10 lakh rupees, you are in no profit no loss situation. So break even is basically a no profit no loss situation. It is a point on the line of your performance of your business on which you achieve a position of no profit and no loss. That means your total investment becomes to total revenue. Now, how to understand this, how to calculate this, what are the uses of this break even analysis? Why, when we talk about break even analysis, why you need to analyze it? Say for example, analysis helps you to understand that if it is there is a point on which your profit becomes zero. So if you want to earn X profit, so at what point you would be able to earn X profit? So analysis helps you to understand this. We will discuss in second part of this lecture. At this moment, you must understand that there are two methods which are very common, very popular. One is graphical method and another is mathematical or algebraic method of calculation of break even point. So here in this lecture, we will discuss break even point, break even, calculation of break even point and break even analysis. So what graphical method means? Before understanding graphical method or algebraic method, there are certain basic concepts related to this break even. So you must understand, in manufacturing, in production, there is a different type of cost you must understand. One type of cost is called fixed cost. Fixed cost is the cost which is fixed for a fixed number of lot of production. Or fixed, it is a fixed lot of production. Say for example, you hire a machine. Say for example, a lathe machine you hire. The capacity of lathe machine is to produce, to do job of 100 jobs per day, right? So whether you take 10 jobs per day or 50 jobs per day or 100 jobs per day, your cost of machinery is fixed. So that is called fixed cost. So for 100 lot, your cost is fixed, right? Second cost is variable cost. Variable cost is the cost by which the total cost vary when you increase one unit of production. That means simply you can understand the raw material cost, the labor cost, the cost which increases when you increase one unit of production. Fixed cost is not increasing when you increase one unit of production. Say for example, whether you produce 10 or 50 or 100, up to 100, the cost is fixed. But variable cost, say for example, you are producing writing pens. So for each pen, raw material cost is a variable cost. It will vary. Labor cost will vary. Electricity cost will vary. Rent will vary. So these are variable cost. Yes, variable cost can also be of different types. Semi variable cost or variable cost. What is semi variable cost? Semi variable, which vary but not in exact proportion of the number of units. Say for example, for raw material, if in a pen 6 rupees raw material is used to produce a pen of 10 rupees, right? Now if you produce 10 pen, so your raw material cost will increase in direct proportion to the 10 pen. That means 6 multiplied by 10, 60 rupees. So when you produce 10 pens of 100 rupee, the raw material cost, the variable cost will be of 60 rupees, which vary in direct proportion with the number of units. But the semi-variable cost is the cost which is not directly varying in proportion to the number of units. Say for example, labor cost. If one pen is produced by one person, so 10 pens may not be produced by one person, but yes, 2 persons, 3 persons, but not 10 persons. So it is not 10 times exactly, but it is called semi-variable cost. Like electricity cost. Electricity cost increases, vary, but not in proportion to the number of units. So this is semi-variable. So we are not concerned about semi-variable cost. We are concerned about only variable cost, and semi-variable is included in this. So we have fixed cost, we have variable cost, and we have selling price, you can understand. So if you look the graphical method, so on one side we talk about the number of units, and on other side you have cost or sales in currency. Say for example, for a fixed number of lot, you have fixed cost, and this represent a fixed cost line on picture, right? Say for example, up to 100 number of products, up to this line, for your 5 products your cost is this, for 10 your cost is this, for 50 your cost is this, for 80 your cost is this, for 100 your cost is this. So this fixed cost line is this, right? Variable cost which vary. So for 5 the cost is this, for 10 it increases, for this it increases, for 100 it increases. Sometimes this increases, this slope depends on to what extent this variable cost is in direct proportion to the number of units. Say for example, if semi variable cost is more, variable cost, raw material cost is less, in that case this will become flatter 30-degree. And if semi variable cost is very nominal, so it will increase like this 45-degree, 60-degree, like that. So it will be like this. So I hope that this variable cost line is clear. Now total cost line is very clear. This I hope that everybody can understand. This represent total cost line because this much is fixed cost, and for this number, for 5 numbers, say for example, this is fixed cost plus this variable cost. So total cost is this. So like this. Now sales price line is like this. That means for 1 unit you have some price, and this represents revenue line. This is also called sales line, or you can say revenue line, right? There is a point on which this line cuts to total cost line. That means this point. This point is a point where, look at, for these number of products or for this cost, your cost and revenue, sales revenue, become similar. And that is why we talk about that this point is called as break even point in your analysis production system. So this is a point on which you achieve a no profit, no loss situation. So it simply means that you have the total cost equals to the revenue or sales price earned out of selling of all 100 products. Now, where is the death valley curve? Look at, see, before this line, look at what is this. Your cost line is this, total cost line, this, right? And your returned revenue line is this. Look at this with the light green or whatever color you can, it is visible to you, this one, right? Now look at, this much cost is recovered by your this much cost, right? Say for example, total cost zone means this is total cost zone, right? Now in this one, after selling product, this one cost is recovered from your revenue. So death valley curve is, this one is your risk zone. That means if you sell below 100, say for example 80, so you can very easily calculate your loss. This much is your loss very clearly, and loss means death valley. Here your business can die because you are in loss zone if you sell. So you have to achieve this much. Above this is called, this is loss zone. Look at this is your loss zone, and this is your profit zone. This is your profit zone. So this is very important to understand from this graphical method. Now we will take algebraic method of this. In algebraic method, you need to understand the contribution by each product. Contribution is basically the sales price minus the variable cost. This is there, you can look at these things. Now look, total contribution by any production system can be termed as the fixed cost plus profit. On other way, you can understand that fixed cost plus profit is also equals to selling price minus variable cost. So when you subtract the variable cost from selling price, you get fixed cost plus profit. So your profit is added, right? So break even point means profit is 0. So you put profit 0 in this. So total contribution for X number of lot of production. the total contribution equals to fixed cost, right? Now, number of units multiplied by contribution per unit is equal to fixed cost. This is very simple. Total contribution can be number of units multiplied by contribution per unit is equal to fixed cost. Now you can understand the number of units because you want to understand the number of units for break even. So it can be fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Now you can very easily understand and go by this way. Say for example, you want to understand, calculate this number of lot. Either you want to calculate this point, right, number of production, number of units, break even units, or you want to learn about this point because above this you are in profit zone, above this you are in profit zone, below this you are in loss zone. So your interest is to calculate this point, right? Your interest is to calculate this point, right? So in this case, look at number of units is equal to fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Now, contribution per unit is very clear because we have discussed that contribution, total contribution is total sales price minus total variable cost. Contribution per unit can be very easily understood by selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. This is a very simple case. So in that case, this break even point become fixed cost divided by selling price minus variable cost. Fixed cost upon SP minus VC. So this thing is very important. Underline this particular formula in terms of break even point in terms of units, right? That means this. Now, if you want to understand the break even point in terms of sales, right? So simply see, this is number of units, multiply it by sales price per unit. So break even point units multiplied by selling price per unit. So it will give you break even point in terms of sales. So it will be FC into SP upon SP minus VC. So it will become fixed cost upon 1 minus VC upon SP. That means this SP will go down and it will become 1 and it will become VC upon SP. And this is usually called as the PV ratio in finance. PV ratio, 1 minus variable cost upon selling price. So profit volume ratio. Usually this terminology. So you can also say that break even point in sales is the ratio of fixed cost versus PV ratio, profit volume ratio. Now, why this is called profit volume ratio? Now, how to analyze, how to utilize it? Say for example, you want to calculate say for example, you say that this total contribution is fixed cost plus profit. Now, you put to calculate the break even point, you have taken profit as a 0. If you do not take profit as 0, what will happen? This will remain FC plus P. This will remain FC plus P. This will remain FC plus P. FC plus P. Hence, here FC plus P. So this will be fixed cost plus profit upon 1 minus VC upon SP. So it will change FC plus P here. And this will not be break even point. It will be the sales. So now total sale which can give you P profit. Now you can calculate the total sales, what sales you should achieve to earn P profit, or you can say to earn P profit X amount, how much sale you should achieve. So you can very easily understand, because fixed cost is known to you, variable cost is known to you, selling price is under your control. So you can calculate the profit volume. Sales means, when you talk about this in terms of units, it is called volume sales. So here it will be profit volume ratio. So profit volume analysis. So this when you do not take it break even, you make it volume profit sales ratio. So this is called profit volume sales analysis also. In some book you will also find as profit volume analysis. So break even analysis is also now termed as profit volume analysis. When you want to know that how much sale you should achieve to earn X amount of profit, so you can calculate with the formula. So I hope that this break even must have become clear to most of you with this lecture. And if anybody who is having any confusion or things, the details are mentioned here. You can interact with me regarding your concept or clarification.